Do you know the answer? 50 questions are waiting for you, from Hogwarts and Narnia to famous detectives, unforgettable heroes, modern bestsellers, and literary classics. Some answers may seem obvious, but be careful. Familiar films and adaptations might lead you straight into a trap. Give yourself 1 point for every correct answer. Score 35 or more, and your book knowledge is seriously impressive. And stay until the end for a bonus question that may change how you remember one of the most famous details in literary history. Thank you for your like and subscription. Ready? Then let's begin. Question 1. Who is Victor Frankenstein in Mary Shelley's novel? The creature, the scientist, the village doctor, or the castle owner? The answer is the scientist. Victor Frankenstein creates the creature. Frankenstein is not the creature's name. Question 2. Which character famously calls the One Ring my precious? Frodo, Sam, Gollum, or Gandalf? It's Gollum. Those two words reveal his powerful obsession with the ring. Question 3. Which Hogwarts house does Harry Potter belong to? Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, or Gryffindor? The answer is Gryffindor. The Sorting Hat considers Slytherin, but Harry asks not to be placed there. Question 4. Which famous novel was originally titled First Impressions? Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre, Little Women, or Wuthering Heights? It's Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen originally wrote it under the title First Impressions. Question 5. What does Charlie Bucket find inside a chocolate bar? A silver coin, a golden ticket, a secret map, or a magic key? The answer is a golden ticket. It wins Charlie a visit to Willy Wonka's mysterious chocolate factory. 5 questions down. Are you 5 for 5? Question 6. In which book is Narnia reached through a wardrobe? The Hobbit, Peter Pan, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or The Secret Garden? It's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Lucy is the first of the children to discover the way into Narnia. Question 7. Which two families are enemies in Romeo and Juliet? The Montagues and the Capulets, the Bennets and the Darcys, the Greasers and the Soches, or the Lintons and the Earnshaws? The answer is the Montagues and the Capulets. Their bitter feud drives Shakespeare's tragedy. Question 8. What is the name of Dorothy's dog in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz? Patch, Max, Spot, or Toto? It's Toto. He travels with Dorothy from Kansas to the magical land of Oz. Question 9. Who carved Pinocchio from a piece of wood? Figaro, Geppetto, Stromboli, or Jiminy Cricket? The answer is Geppetto. He is the woodcarver who creates the famous puppet. Question 10. In which novel does the phrase, Big Brother is watching you appear? Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, 1984, or Lord of the Flies? It's 1984. Big Brother represents the constant surveillance of Orwell's totalitarian state. 10 questions down. If you have 7 or more correct, you're off to a brilliant start. The next round brings more famous characters and stories. Question 11. What is Katniss's surname in The Hunger Games? Malark, Everdeen, Hawthorne, or Snow? The answer is Everdeen. Katniss Everdeen volunteers to take her younger sister's place in the games. Question 12. What first name does Gatsby use in The Great Gatsby? Tom, Nick, George, or Jay? It's Jay. He was born James Gatz, but reinvents himself as Jay Gatsby. Question 13. Who does Alice follow down the rabbit hole? The White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat, the March Hare, or the Caterpillar? The answer is the White Rabbit. Following him leads Alice into Wonderland. Question 14. What is the surname of the four sisters in Little Women? Bennet, Dashwood, March, or Bloom? It's March. Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy are the four March sisters. Question 15. What kind of animal is Charlotte in Charlotte's Web? A pig, a spider, a goose, or a horse? The answer is a spider. Charlotte uses words in her web to help save Wilbur the pig. Question 16. Which author created both Matilda and Willy Wonka? C.S. Lewis, Lewis Carroll, A.A. Milne, or Roald Dahl? It's Roald Dahl. He created both the brilliant Matilda and the eccentric chocolatier Willy Wonka. Question 17. At the beginning of Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, what is Santiago's occupation? A merchant, a shepherd, a fisherman, or a sailor? The answer is a shepherd. Santiago leaves his flock behind to search for a treasure near the Egyptian pyramids. Question 18. Where is Odysseus trying to return throughout the Odyssey? Troy, Sparta, Ithaca, or Crete? It's Ithaca. Odysseus spends 10 difficult years trying to return to his island home. Question 19. Mary Lennox is the main character in which novel? Rebecca, The Secret Garden, A Little Princess, or Black Beauty? The answer is The Secret Garden. Mary discovers a neglected garden hidden behind a locked door. Question 20. Who accompanies Don Quixote on his adventures? Sancho Panza, D'Artagnan, Don Juan, or Cyrano de Bergerac? It's Sancho Panza. He serves as Don Quixote's loyal and much more practical companion. 20 questions down. How many did you get right? The next 10 include some easy wins and a few familiar stories that may catch you out. Question 21. Which word does the raven repeatedly say in Edgar Allan Poe's poem? Forever, goodbye, nevermore, or remember? The answer is nevermore. It becomes the poem's haunting and unforgettable refrain. Question 22. Which amateur detective lives in St. Mary Mead? Miss Marple, Nancy Drew, Lisbeth Salander, or Kinsey Milhone? It's Miss Marple. Agatha Christie's observant detective solves crimes by drawing on her knowledge of human nature. Question 23. Napoleon and Snowball are rival pigs in which novel? Watership Down, Lord of the Flies, Charlotte's Web, or Animal Farm? The answer is Animal Farm. Napoleon eventually drives Snowball away and takes control of the farm. Question 24. Which character is relentlessly pursued by Inspector Javert in Les Miserables? Marius Pontmercy, Jean Valjean, Thénardier, or Gavroche? It's Jean Valjean. Javert pursues him for years after Valjean breaks the terms of his parole. Question 25. Who narrates The Catcher in the Rye? Jay Gatsby, Tom Sawyer, Holden Caulfield, or George Milton? The answer is Holden Caulfield. His distinctive, cynical voice shapes the entire novel. You're halfway there. How is your score looking? Question 26. What is Anne Shirley's home in Avonlea called? Green Gables, Pemberley, Thornfield Hall, or Manderley? It's Green Gables. Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert adopt Anne and welcome her into this Avonlea farmhouse. Question 27. Which Charles Dickens character says, "Please, sir, I want some more"? David Copperfield, Pip, Tiny Tim, or Oliver Twist? The answer is Oliver Twist. He makes the famous request after drawing lots with the other hungry boys. Question 28. Who wrote Dracula? Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, Robert Louis Stevenson, or Oscar Wilde? It's Bram Stoker. His Gothic novel introduced Count Dracula to generations of readers. Question 29. Dr. Jekyll transforms into which frightening character? Count Dracula, Dorian Gray, Mr. Hyde, or Professor Moriarty? The answer is Mr. Hyde. He embodies the violent and hidden side of Dr. Jekyll's personality. Question 30. Who narrates most of the original Sherlock Holmes stories? Dr. Watson, Inspector Lestrade, Professor Moriarty, or Mycroft Holmes? It's Dr. Watson. Most of Holmes's cases are told from the perspective of his loyal friend and companion. 30 questions complete. If you have 20 or more correct, you're doing very well. But there are still 20 questions to go. Question 31. In the Percy Jackson books, which Greek god is Percy's father? Zeus, Apollo, Hades, or Poseidon? The answer is Poseidon. This makes Percy a demigod with a powerful connection to the sea. Question 32. In which novel would you meet the pirate Long John Silver? Kidnapped, Treasure Island, Robinson Crusoe, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? It's Treasure Island. Long John Silver is the ship's cook and a cunning pirate. Question 33. What kind of animal is Buck in The Call of the Wild? A dog, a horse, a wolf, or a bear? The answer is a dog. Buck is a powerful mixed-breed dog who is taken from California to the Klondike. Question 34. What is the narrator's assigned name in The Handmaid's Tale? Serena, Moira, Offred, or Janine? It's Offred. Her assigned name means of Fred, showing that Gilead treats her as the commander's property. Question 35. Which monster does Beowulf defeat first? Medusa, the Minotaur, the Cyclops, or Grendel? The answer is Grendel. Beowulf later fights Grendel's mother and, many years afterward, a dragon. Question 36. What position does Jane Eyre take at Thornfield Hall? A nurse, a governess, a housekeeper, or a secretary? It's governess. Jane is hired to educate Adele, the young girl in Mr. Rochester's care. Question 37. Which character's demon is named Pantalaimon in His Dark Materials? Lyra Belacqua, Matilda Wormwood, Meg Murray, or Coraline Jones? The answer is Lyra Belacqua. Pantalaimon, often called Pan, is her constant companion. Question 38. At the beginning of The Color Purple, To whom does Celie address her letters? Her sister Nettie, Shug Avery, God, or Mr.? It's God. Later in the novel, the letters also connect Celie and her sister Nettie. Question 39. Which city do Hazel and Augustus visit in The Fault in Our Stars? Paris, Rome, London, or Amsterdam? The answer is Amsterdam. They travel there hoping to meet the reclusive author Peter Van Houten. Question 40. Which character becomes obsessed with motor cars in The Wind in the Willows? Rat, Mr. Toad, Mole, or Badger? It's Mr. Toad. His reckless fascination with motor cars lands him in serious trouble. Only 10 questions remain. The final round mixes popular modern books with a few classics that may test even serious readers. Question 41. What is Scrooge's first name in A Christmas Carol? Ebenezer, Edmund, Ezekiel, or Ernest? The answer is Ebenezer. At the beginning of the story, Ebenezer Scrooge is famous for his cold heart and his hatred of Christmas. Question 42. Which asteroid is home to the Little Prince? A. 113, X 21, B. 612, or Z 101? It's B. 612. The Little Prince shares his tiny home with 3 volcanoes and a beloved rose. Question 43. Which novel features the rival groups known as the Greasers and the Socs? The Giver, The Outsiders, Holes, or Wonder? The answer is The Outsiders. The story is told by Ponyboy Curtis, a member of the Greasers. Question 44. In Life of Pi, what kind of animal is Richard Parker? A zebra, a hyena, an orangutan, or a tiger? It's a tiger. More precisely, Richard Parker is a Bengal tiger stranded at sea with Pi. Question 45. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, what is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? 7, 42, 101, or 3.14? The answer is 42. The supercomputer Deep Thought takes 7.5 million years to calculate it. Just 5 questions left. Make them count. Question 46. On which desert planet is Dune mainly set? Giedi Prime, Tatooine, Arrakis, or Trantor? It's Arrakis, also known as Dune. It is the only source of the valuable spice melange. Question 47. Which family is at the center of 100 Years of Solitude? The Trueba family, the Buendia family, the De la Garza family, or the Del Valle family? The answer is the Buendia family. The novel follows several generations of the family in the town of Macondo. Question 48. Which imaginary friend did Anne Frank eventually address her diary letters to? Emily, Margot, Clara, or Kitty? It's Kitty. She became the best-known imaginary recipient of Anne's diary letters. Question 49. In which book does the hero visit the land of the tiny Lilliputians? Gulliver's Travels, The Time Machine, Around the World in 80 Days, or The Lost World? The answer is Gulliver's Travels. In Lilliput, Gulliver appears enormous beside the tiny inhabitants. One final question. Can you finish with another correct answer? Question 50. Which novel begins with, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"? Great Expectations, Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, or David Copperfield? It's A Tale of Two Cities. The two cities in Dickens's novel are London and Paris. That was question 50. But don't close the book just yet. There's still one bonus question waiting for you. Ready? Here it is. In the original Wizard of Oz book, what color are Dorothy's magical shoes? Ruby red, silver, gold, or emerald green? How many did you get right today? Write your score and your answer to the bonus question in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next quiz. Stay curious and have a great day. See you in the next quiz!